Hello and welcome to the Winning Agenda stream of Pro Tour testing, or should I say Players Tour testing.
Players Tour testing, yeah.
Special guest Isaac Egan joins us tonight. How are you, Isaac?
I'm good. Ready to get some testing on. I've been testing a bunch over the last couple of weeks.
Yep. What have you been testing?
So the idea was that we would start with choose a deck, and then we'd kind of play a bunch of different decks and work out what's working for us, get a handle on the different archetypes so that we know what's going on from their perspective and our perspective, no matter which deck we're playing.
Yep.
So I started with Jund Sacrifice and didn't play anything else.
Okay. And so it went so well that you just stuck with it.
Well, it's a lot of fun, the deck, and I was doing pretty well with it as well. So the boogeyman at the moment is Teemo Rec, which is like a Teemo Reclamation.
Wilderness Reclamation.
Wilderness Reclamation.
So should we, while we're talking about these cards, why don't we go to, where would we go? Decks. And then how do we open a card collection on this? What's the easiest way to do that?
Well, let's...
Collection down there? Will that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So, for those of you who haven't been following things all that closely, this is Wilderness Reclamation. So this is public enemy number 1, is it?
Yep. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. So it's an enchantment that basically doubles your mana as long as you can use it in instant speed stuff.
Yep. And what do people pair that with?
Expansion Explosion.
Okay.
So this is a split card.
We'll get out of there. Oh, wait, there we go.
Yep. So you'll see the red, blue, and X. So 4 mana plus X. Explosion deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards. So if you've doubled your mana, let's say you've got 7 land out, that's 14 mana. So that's 10 damage and draw 10 cards, which is a lot.
Wow. Okay.
And then you've got the expansion side, which occasionally copies a spell like Negate in a Counter War, or maybe a Duress or something like that you want to copy. So yeah, cool. Pretty powerful card. That's basically the big part of Teemo Rec.
And you can copy your opponent's spells with the expansion, can you?
Yeah, you can copy anybody's spells. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. Being able to just get them with their own stuff.
Yeah. On occasion.
Okay. And so you've landed on Jund Sacrifice. Talk us a little bit through the event itself. So what is the Players Tour?
So the Players Tour is a premier event for Magic the Gathering. You have to qualify for it through a satellite tournament, or there's a number of different ways that you can qualify for it, but it's all basically satellite tournaments that you need to do well enough in that event in order to get an invite to play in the Players Tour.
And so what did you do earlier this year?
Earlier this year, I played in an in-person physical event when they existed. And I think it was about 80 players or something like that.
Yep.
And that was first place got invited to the Players Tour.
And you made it to number 1. What was the format?
It was standard.
Yep.
I was playing a Bant deck, so green, white, blue.
Yep.
And I think it started at 10 a.m. and I finished the finals at 10:30 p.m.
Oh, so, that is a long day.
Yeah, it was grueling. Yeah.
For long-time fans of the Winning Agenda, you would have heard us talking a lot about tournament hygiene and preparation and just how to keep yourself going through long days like that with a top 8 cut. How did you manage for nearly 12 hours or more than 12 hours?
Keep hydrated.
Yeah, just drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water. I actually brought snacks with me that day.
Tournament snack food, another favorite topic of the Winning Agenda. What did you bring? I
brought some protein bars and I brought some fruit, which is so unlike me, but I did that day, which turned out in my favor.
Excellent. Pro tip, bring fruit to your PTQs. So the Players Tour is working a little differently this time as well because it's all an arena, right? Yep. So ordinarily you'd get an airfare and you'd travel somewhere in the world and play in person.
So I was invited to play in this Players Tour, which was originally in Japan.
Yep.
And had organised to go over to Japan and play in this event. But then obviously with COVID, that didn't happen. So instead we're playing on Arena. So they shifted over to Arena. And it's a bit of a weird kind of direct challenge event where you get told who you paired against and you get told their ID so that you can then challenge them and play a best of 3 match.
Yeah, cool. So the other thing that we need to get out of the way early on is that you've got a little humble brag sitting up here at the top of your account. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so those that haven't seen this little thing that comes up here. So there was a an event that happened a couple of weeks ago now.
Yep.
Where it was like anybody can enter that on Arena, and if you did well enough in day 1, then you got invited to day 2, and then if you went, if you got 6 wins or 7 wins, if you got 6 wins, you got cash.
Yep.
Before you got to 2 losses, so you're allowed to lose once.
And is that single game matches or 3 game matches?
Day 1 was best of 1.
Yep.
In order to make it to day 2.
Yep.
And then once you're in day 2, it was best of 3.
Okay, cool.
So I managed to go 7-1 in that. And got
was that
some
7-1 across the 2 days?
So in the first tournament, I think I went X2.
Yep.
To make it to the...
and then you went 7-1 on day 2 to get the $2,000 cash, USD.
Gosh.
So not too bad for a little bit of Arena on a weekend.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to humble brag as well.
No, that's all right.
I don't know if it's humble anymore.
No, it's not humble.
It's just straight up brag.
So what we might do is dive into a bit of a deck tech. Welcome to our viewers on Twitch as well. Feel free to jump into the chat. We've got a chat box on screen, so please keep it family friendly, but feel free to jump in with questions or feedback or stories. As foreshadowed on social media earlier today, of course, Isaac used to run a store here in Melbourne, Australia called Metagames. If there are any Metagames veterans hanging out there in the Twitch viewership, feel free to submit your Metagame stories as we're playing along. And at the end of the stream, the best Metagame story wins a prize. So, special prize. So we'll jump in and have a bit of a deck tech. We've got that was no humble. There you go.
That's
not
Luck.
Not humble at all.
Welcome to the stream, Lucky.
So, Junsak, here we go. Let's have a look at the deck. Yeah, put it on the good deck layout. Why do they start with that terrible layout? This is so useless.
I don't know. There's a couple of different aspects of Jund Sacrifice that are important. I'm gonna talk you through the basics to start with, assuming that you haven't played much Constructed. Is that
I haven't
right?
played heaps of Constructed in this format at all. But one thing I love to see is Trail of Crumbs, which was one of my favourite cards from that limited format. So I am astounded and very happy that that's made it into a Tier 1 Constructed
Trail of Crumbs
deck.
is the reason why you play green in this deck, which is pretty relevant.
Cool. Sorry, I won't interrupt you anymore, but that's a cool one.
That's
it's nice to see.
Okay, so the idea with the deck is that it plays around one particularly good interaction, which is Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven. So Cauldron Familiar, you can sacrifice a food in order to return this from your graveyard to play. Yep. And when it comes into play, you drain your opponent for 1 life. You gain 1 life, they lose 1 life. Witch's Oven says you can sacrifice a creature to create a food. So you sacrifice the cat, gets the food, you sacrifice the food to get the cat back, then every turn you can do this and drain them for 1 every turn.
Yeah, the limited amount of Standard that I have played, I have come up against cats and ovens and not necessarily enjoyed myself. So I'm with you this far, and Mayhem Devil.
Yep, and then Mayhem Devil. So whenever a player, so any player sacrifices any permanent, you get to do 1 damage to any target.
Yep.
Which is pretty good. And then we've got this one in here, which you might not have played before.
Not really, no.
This is one of the best parts of this deck.
Yep.
So it's Balls the Citadel, 6 mana artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play land cards and cast spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost.
Yep.
So basically you get to play spells for free, no mana, as long as you've got enough life to be able to play it. And then once you get to 10 permanents, you can sacrifice 10 of those permanents and deal them 10 life. They lose 10 life.
Yep.
So if you've got 10 permanents in this and you've got 1 Mayhem Devil, that equals 10 sacrifice triggers from this is 10 damage, plus this is 10.
Wow.
So
okay.
20 out of nowhere.
And if you do that and the Mayhem Devil's one of the non-land permanents sacrifice, it still triggers for all the sacrifices? Yeah, because they're paid as a cost.
Yeah.
All at the same time? Cool.
So there are a couple of differences that happen with these lists is the number of Korvolds that you play.
Yep.
Korvold is a great card engine. I've cut 1 Priest of the Forgotten Gods, which is a good little sacrifice outlet and source of card advantage. Is good against aggro, but less good against Team Arek. And I'm playing 1 Vraska Golgari Queen instead. And
what's Vraska in terms of a metagame core? Like, what matchups does that help you in?
Okay, so Vraska kills a couple of things. It kills Uro, which is a mainstay of the format.
Yep.
It kills Hydroid Crisis.
Yep.
It kills Teferi.
Yep.
And it kills Glass Casket as well.
Okay.
In the mirror, it also has the ability to kill Witch's Oven, which is quite relevant.
Yeah.
And it's a sacrifice outlet in that you may sacrifice a permanent. If you do, you gain 1 life and draw a card.
And gaining life can be relevant with Bolas of Citadel.
It can. The particularly relevant part as well is being able to sacrifice a permanent because you've got Claim the Firstborn, which is gain control of their creature, and then you can sacrifice it and get maximum profit.
How do you deal with those Uro decks that are kind of also there in Standard? Does the Team Erect deck play Uro as well?
3 copies of Uro,
Uros,
generally speaking, out of Team Erect. So this deck can actually go larger than them with Bolas' Citadel, but if they get in front and have like a negate open to be able to counter your Bolas' Citadel, that's a game that you're going to lose.
Okay.
So you can have an aggressive start with things like Cauldron Familiar. Claim the Firstborn does take Uro, then you can sacrifice it.
Yeah.
And Witch's Ovens, and these kind of like this half of your deck, not including the Trail of Crumbs, is like an aggressive side.
Yeah.
And then you've got Trail of Crumbs, which is a card advantage, Corvold, and Bolas' Citadel, which is a combo finish.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You can actually generate more card advantage when you've got Trail of Crumbs and a Cauldron Familiar and a Witch's Oven, because every time you bring back the Cauldron Familiar, you're sacrificing a food.
Yeah.
And then you can pay 1 and look at the top 2 cards and take a permanent.
Yeah.
One of those permanents might be Old Maid Bolas' Citadel.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, very importantly, you've got
the
sideboard.
Scorching Dragonfire doesn't really help with Uro, does it? Because his toughness is too high.
Yeah, so you're not going to bring in Scorching Dragonfire against Uro. Instead, you're going to bring in Agonizing Remorse.
Yep.
I've got 1 Mystic Repeal. One of the questions I actually want to answer tonight, hopefully, is do I want to have a 2nd Mystic Repeal or a 3rd Mystic Repeal even? I've got 2 Vraska Golgari Queen in the sideboard, which are particularly good against Sultai or Bant, but I'm not sure how good.
Okay.
So, and then I've got 2 Corvold, which I'm happy with.
Yep.
And 2 the Crowan War, which has a lot of text.
Yes.
And we'll just deal with that when it comes up.
I mean, I played this a fair few times in Limited, and it tends to play a bit funnily. Like, it's one of those cards that it's hard to get a feel for, I found. The rhythm of it.
You'll see, like, when we play this against somebody, they'll hover over it and pause for an extended period of time.
Because, like with most sagas, you've got to think 3 turns into the future, but this one's effects don't quite explain themselves as clearly as some sagas do.
It's weird. And then we've got 3 Duress, which... so I've got a split of 3 Agonizing Remorse and 3 Duress. You might see quite a relevant part is I'm not playing any other enchantment removal. So there is an enchantment, red and green, sacrifice it to deal Cindervines. So
Cindervines, yep.
So Cindervines is, you see some Jund Sacrifice also playing 4 Cindervines, and I was playing 4 Cindervines on the sideboard before the Team Erect matchup, but I just found that with Aether Gust they can bounce it, or Blast Zone they can kill it, and they never invest the 4 mana in their Wilderness Reclamation whilst they know that you can just sacrifice and kill it. So Mystic Repeal is a single green, so a lot cheaper to cast, and a surprise hit.
Okay. And it's an instant, which is...
quite relevant, yeah.
Good, but only 1.
Yeah, so...
not that important to hit the Wilderness Wreck?
I've basically been playing the Agonizing Remorse and the Duress.
Relying on the...
relying on that aspect.
Yeah.
And I'm testing the Vraska to see if that's more relevant in the matchup.
Okay.
Once you've got the 6 discard outlets to hit their Expansion Explosion.
Yeah.
Whether it's more important to be able to also kill their Uro and have something left over.
Yeah. And potentially, because that can kill a Wilderness Reclamation too, can't it? Because it's non-land permanent? No. Converted mana cost 3 less. So it can't kill the Wilderness Reclamation, which is quite relevant, and which is why I might end up dropping one of these for a 2nd Mystic Repeal. Yeah, cool. Just for a bit more balance between... in that matchup.
Yeah. And in fact, that's probably what I'm going to do, but I want to test Vraska because it's more of an unknown, whereas I'm pretty confident that this is good.
And you kind of know what it does too. Yeah, cool. All right, should we dive straight in? Let's get a game. Oh, the other thing to mention, of course, which we'll see come up. Well, we'll wait till the game starts to talk about your Mythic Rank and what our objective is for.
Oh, we can. Let's start so that there's a proof of where we're starting.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm sure it's probably gone down in the last couple of days. I was doing all right for a bit, so.
Yeah. So for those of you who follow along, 38.
Okay.
So. On MTG Arena every month, you can see that we're in the June 2020 season here. Season ends in 12 days at the end of June. And Isaac's constructed rank is Mythic number 38. So what does that mean?
That means of all the people that play MTG Arena and are in the Mythic Rank, I am the 38th ranked in the world.
In the world. So that's a pretty good place to be. There's a lot of people who play MTG Arena.
There are a few.
There are quite a few. So what's our objective tonight?
I would like to get to top 10. That's our objective.
That's our objective. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do it. So just another reminder as well for our stream viewers, get those metagame stories flowing while we're playing if you want to give yourself a chance to win a special prize. And don't forget to trash talk Isaac when he misplays.
Which will happen. Yeah. This deck has a lot of intricate aspects to it when you get into some holding priority.
Yep.
And
so I'm going to be poised right here on the control key. So,
yeah. You're normally a limited player, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've been really enjoying Ikoria Limited, actually. I've played a lot of drafts, and I've enjoyed how the format's developed. Everyone started playing a lot of Zenith Flare decks after a little while, and that became kind of the hotness, just playing cycling, but it's kind of leveled out to a point where Mutate's still fun, which I like. I've actually enjoyed the last few sets, to be honest.
I will say there's something that's quite interesting in this hand. So we've got a turn 1 Gilded Goose, and we've got an option in Vraska, which is basically
if you can get it down turn 3.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
One of the things, a question mark that I have is, should I be playing this Castle Lochthwain, or should it just be a swamp? And this is
a hand where you really would rather be a swamp.
Yep, certainly the case.
Although, that being said, you are still going to be able to play the Vraska on turn 3 because of the Gilded Goose.
Yes, that is true.
Yep.
But it also means that, like, if I wanted to play this swamp next turn, then I wouldn't be able to make food with this thing.
Yes.
But that's all right.
But you've drawn a Blood Crypt.
Yes.
Which isn't great for land flood, but...
I'm just going to play the mountain because I want to be able to not take damage. I want to be able to block this, and I want to be able to make a food.
Yeah, cool.
All right, they chose not to attack.
Interesting.
I mean, I think if they had have attacked, I wouldn't have blocked.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where it's like, it's pretty much free damage for them on the attack, I feel.
Yeah. So auto pay this. This is pretty cool, actually.
You can sack the food.
I can sacrifice the food, which takes me off a mana from the Gilded Goose, but I think that I'd...
+2 is quite a lot at this point. Like on turn 3, having a 6 loyalty Planeswalker.
It actually also means that if they do exactly what I was anticipating, if they play this 4/4, they don't actually kill the artifact that happens.
Yes, true.
Now, unfortunately, this is now actually quite hard to kill because
Yep.
its converted mana cost is greater than I would like it to be.
Yes.
So we're gonna.
And it's got protection from... What does Stonecold Seven have?
It's got trample and protection from multicolored.
So you can still claim the Firstborn and sacrifice it if you can.
Unfortunately not, because claim the Firstborn is converted mana cost 3 or
of
less,
course.
and it is no longer converted mana cost 3 or less.
Cool.
So I'm just going to sacrifice this cat.
Yep.
Alright. We're definitely going to play this oven, and we're going to make a food as well. So I'm just going to sacrifice this. Now, actually, I probably should have played the Castle Lochthwain instead of the Fabled Passage. So that's the first misplay, because a Fabled Passage with something like Mayhem Devil can be...
Extra damage.
Yep. So I'm going to do this now. And create a food now so that nothing happens in response. And then I'm going to do all of this in my main phase to make sure that I don't get caught with my pants down for some reason. Which I can't actually tell you exactly what that is, but it's safer in this situation to have the Witch's
While
Oven.
they're tapped out, might as well. Yeah. And with this, you can now respond to anything by activating the Witch's Oven to sack the Cauldron Familiar. Can you block? Oh, it's got trample? Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
so I can block, but that's not going to do
Trample
anything.
irrelevant, but that Vraska's now drawn you 2 cards and eaten 10 damage.
Yes.
Not bad for 4 mana.
Not bad for 4 mana.
Yeah.
2 Barkhide Trolls.
These guys you can steal and sacrifice?
Yes.
Yeah.
We couldn't if they had a mana open because they could remove a plus on counter.
To give hexproof. Yeah.
To give hexproof, yeah. So I'm going to sacrifice this food.
So just getting a little bit of incidental damage in here and there.
Yep. Now that Bolus of Citadel is going to be great.
Yep. So that's really going to open the game up for you, hopefully.
Yep.
Assuming that they don't have another Anguirius or something to destroy artifacts.
Yeah, even if that's the case, we'll still be able to, like, hopefully get
some value off it next turn.
Yep. Now, I can play the Castle Walkthwain here and draw a card for the cost of a bunch of life. I don't think that's worth it. Instead, I want to play my Shockland tapped, and I want to make a food with my Gilded Goose.
Okay.
Okay, they're going to kill this Witch's Oven.
Yep. Well, we're happier to see that come out this turn, assuming they don't have another one.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Although they are now getting pretty hard to deal with, and there's no board sweepers in this deck, are there?
No. So this isn't the best. I'm actually gonna just let this cat die and soak up a whole 1 damage.
Yep.
And be on 14. And let's create a food token. We're going to leave this Cauldron Familiar here.
Yep.
And they're on 14. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Auto pay. Alright, so.
And do we have any ways to... Okay.
I'm going to play this tapped. Alright. That
So
was
we
the worst
whiffed.
possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 lands on top was not good.
No.
Especially considering how many lands you've already drawn in this game. That's...
Yeah. And it wasn't a land that we could, move the top of our library.
Yep.
So they're going to deal us, well, lethal here.
14. That's unfortunate.
Not quite lethal, because we can go like this and go to 15.
Yeah.
And then we can block.
And go to 2.
Yeah.
What other life gain options do we have in the deck?
Well, we've got gain 3 life of this Gilded Goose here.
Yep.
For a measly 4 mana.
Yep.
But that puts us to 5, which could be enough.
That also gains us some life, but it's a tap ability.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to...
Do we have any ways to give the priest haste?
We do. We have... Actually doesn't... They lose 2 life. There's,
it doesn't gain you life, right?
Yeah.
Corval we can't play.
Yeah, alright.
Alright. So not the best start.
Well, yeah, we got a bit unlucky with that Bolus of Citadel there. And then we got alright luck. But now
we needed that for turn earlier.
Yes.
If we'd been able to spend 15 life rather than 3.
Yeah.
Perhaps that would have been better. Yeah.
So we're going to take out 1 Woe Strider, 1 Witch's Oven, and all of our Bolus of Citadels.
Yep.
We're going to bring in 2 of Crowan's Wars, 2 Corvold, and then we can bring in Scorching Dragonfire. We can keep in 1 Bolus of Citadel.
You don't like Agonizing Remorse to try and get rid of those Gem Raisers?
No, I think that we just accept that Gem Raisers are going to do a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Gem Raisers can be a bit of a pain.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Vraska doesn't hit them the way that we'd like, but we get to block them with Corvold is the idea.
Okay.
Vraska did actually gain us a bunch of life there, and...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I want this extra Dragon's Fire. And then I probably just don't want this Bolus of Citadel. Because I think that we get to these stages where we draw Bolus of Citadel, we might be able to play it, but we're on 5 life.
Yep.
And that's not what we want.
And we'll just try and go underneath them instead. With the Mayhem Devils and just kill them that way.
Yeah. So Mayhem Devils can trigger and kill things that aren't Stone Coil Serpent.
Yep.
and Korvog can just attack and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the Akroan War that takes their large creatures.
Yep.
And we've got, we potentially want like an extra Trail Crumbs instead of like one of the Woe Striders.
Okay. Because Woe Strider, the goat, doesn't really block tramplers very well.
No.
It doesn't do a lot for you.
No.
On the D, yeah.
It does come back as a 5/4.
Yeah.
So you can, not unearth. Is it unearth?
Escape.
Escape.
Yeah.
You can escape.
Yeah.
To become a 5/4.
I always say unearth. It feels the same.
Yeah. All right. This hand doesn't have a green source, but does have a priest and a Claim the Firstborn and a Witch's Oven. So
turn 1 oven's good enough for you, as long as you can turn 2 priest, or
I'm gonna turn 2 priest. I don't know if I'm gonna play the Witch's Oven.
Okay, right.
In fact, I know I'm not going to.
Yeah. Is that because of Gem Razor, or?
Yeah, there's enough reasons that would kill this, and it's our only sacrifice outlet if this dies, or if we don't have a second creature. So
yeah, cool.
And it does only cost 1 mana. So and we don't have a cat.
Yeah.
So if we had a cat, then I'd play this. But all right, so I'm gonna go Mountain and play the Priest. Priest is one of the best cards in this matchup.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So this becomes turned on next.
Yeah, next turn.
Next turn. So we can just play the castle this turn if we'd like. And I don't want to play the Witch's Oven. Actually, part of me does. Because if they spend a turn... No, I don't want them to Gem Razor as well. Alright.
Yeah.
Let's pass the turn.
Yeah, I feel like it getting Gem Razored out here is pretty bad.
Well, yeah, the big thing that I don't want to be Gem Razored is the fact that we can no longer steal this.
Yep. Because that's going to be a really nice play now. Being able to steal it and sack it to the priest.
Yep.
In a way that you otherwise wouldn't have even been able to use priest next turn, because you're going to have 2 creatures. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Very nice.
So I'm actually just going to get a forest with this.
Yep.
Play a Gilded Goose, and then just attack.
Cool.
I imagine that hopefully they'll just play another creature and we can just steal both of them.
And then sack them both rather than losing the goose.
Hopefully they play 2 creatures here. That's what we'd like them to do. But if they just play like a questing beast and attack, then
Crawl Harpooner.
It's a good way to kill a goose.
Yep. Not a card, again, that I necessarily expected to see constructed play, but
yeah,
I guess it's got a enters the battlefield, kill something ability. It's what you want on a creature. So there you go. You got your wish. They played 2 creatures.
Yeah, which is great. Now I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Oh, we don't have a second red source, which is kind of annoying. I'm gonna sacrifice this and gain 3 life.
Yep.
I don't know if. Yeah.
Oh, there's your second red source.
It is not. We've only got 1 mountain in the deck.
Oh, okay.
But you'd think that. Alright, but we can sacrifice this. We'll get a swamp. We're going to take control of this.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to lose that second Gilded Goose, unfortunately.
Yep.
But as long as we draw a creature next turn, we still get to do the same thing.
Yep.
And we've got 2 draws now because we've got the draw from this. Okay. Yeah,
I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to draw a card.
Yeah, cool. Makes sense to save 1 life, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
The just avoiding Gem Razor by holding the oven back can only really go so far.
Yeah.
Even though, as you say, the Claim the Firstborn kind of dies if they Gem Razor on their Growth Chamber Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Interesting
that's
that you
actually
said on that.
Well, we do at this point. We need to draw a creature.
Yep.
Okay, that works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit weird.
And we need to take two.
Pay 2 life for this. Gain control of this. Play this. Yep.
So at least we survive, I guess.
I think we're in a good position here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about how do we deal with this Gem Razor.
Oh, it's dead.
Oh, it took us a sacrifice, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we deal with this Gem Razor. We're definitely in a good position.
And I think we want to just draw another card at the expense of almost dying.
Now we almost died at questing based.
We go to 1 from questing based, but I think that.
Okay.
Ooh.
Again, we've drawn a lot of land. I feel like there aren't that many land in this deck.
It's 24.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to play this Blood Crypt. And. Yeah, more attack.
When you slide out the Bolus of Citadel, would you ever consider sliding out a land?
That's a good question, to which I haven't. Yeah. Well, if I bring in the if I don't have the Corvolds in, then yes, definitely,
Okay.
I should do that. Yeah. Corvolds are still at 5 mana, but I could definitely see sliding down a land.
Especially with Gilded Goose. 24 plus Goose is a lot.
Alright, ram through. It's a bit of a pain, but also this is going to attack and we're going to block this. It's going to be great. Yeah, I would like to gain some life. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to put them onto top deck mode, basically, and we've got a Claim the Firstborn over them.
Yes.
And how do you feel about the matchup in top deck mode?
I think that we have probably some more powerful spells.
Yeah.
But they do have questing beast.
Yes.
Which
makes our Castle Lochthwain rather difficult to use.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. Okay. And Claim the Firstborn, not going to do a lot against that, but I guess they can't attack with it next turn? Or it dies to a Cron Wall? Is that right? No,
Cron Wall's going to trigger our turn. Now, we have the option of losing 3 life and drawing a card, but then that would become lethal. But also, like, what do we want to do? I'm just going to go to turn. All right.
Well, that worked out all right, because Worst Rider does block that okay, doesn't it?
It does,
yeah.
So we can use this Claim the Firstborn to take a counter off, which doesn't actually do anything.
It does get a card out of her hand for Castle Lochthwain, though.
It does. But I don't think that's worth it.
Especially since we've now got a sack outlet. So Claim the Firstborn on something that can actually stick on is a lot better.
yeah. 6 mana. Oh, they've got a big ass Serpent. That is going to get Claim the Firstborn.
Yep.
Oh man, it's going to do them a bunch of damage as well, actually, which is pretty cool. Ooh, all right.
Oh, nice.
So now just like randomly turn the corner and start getting aggressive.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I guess they didn't favor themselves in top deck mode from that point on. I mean, we were going to be scrying, which makes top deck mode a lot better.
Yep.
All right. So welcome back to game 3. We've got a keeper, Isaac.
Nah.
Nope, sending that one back, even with 2 cats.
2 cats. Well, cats don't do anything
Yeah.
without the oven. Whereas this hand here is great.
Yep.
And we can put a Blood Crypt on the bottom.
Yep.
Because all of our cards are pretty good.
So we might run into the... at least it's not the mountain. So if we draw a Fabled Passage and we need a second red source, we can Go and fetch it. That's nice.
Yeah. That one doesn't come up too often, but it is always
I feel
kind
like
of the first
the
one.
anti-synergy between Fabled Passage and Shocklands surely must come back and bite people a fair bit.
The anti-synergy between what?
Fabled Passage and Shocklands. Like the fact that you're incentivized to play more Shocklands to show up your mana base, but Fabled Passage doesn't touch them.
Yeah.
So you got to have the right selection of basics. All right, this game's
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Vraska's not a bad draw, but we haven't got the food for the goose.
So I think that we're going to play Gilded Goose.
Mm-hmm.
And then that gives us one thing to sack with this, which is land.
Yep,
And then
which
we get
lets
to
us
play
play
this
Woestrider. Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Woestrider, which actually gets us, allows us to kill Pelt Collector.
Yep.
Which I think is worth it.
By sacking the goat and a goose, or
By sacking the food token.
oh right, of course.
Yeah.
It deals 1 damage. Yep. So we don't even need to lose goose. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's the way that we want to do it. The other option is to kill
A growth chamber.
Growth Chamber and then have the option to kill the other Growth Chamber if we want to, with sacrificing 2 goose.
Which means that
Think that
we can still kill whatever growth chamber they try and
yeah, exactly.
upsize anyway. Yeah. And the good thing about Woestrider's ability, I guess, is that the scry's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put this. Actually, maybe that familiar is alright because we've got goose that allow it to bring it back. Maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been so hasty with that. Alright, error number 2 for the night.
I'm not sure.
It is a bit of a judgment call.
Like, it is good to get that engine going since we've also got the Mayhem Devil on the field. Getting kind of the cat cycle started is nice. Do we want to trade a Woestrider? Since you've got a Vraska coming next turn anyway.
I think that we do want to actually get them to spend their mana.
Yeah, cool.
I think that this is how I'd like to play it. And then we just sack their 2 goose.
Yeah.
Kill the thing.
That seems great.
And then we get to... Ooh, another Mayhem Devil.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds good. So that's not a bad time walk.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked that turn. And we get to trade with the thing as well. So it turns them off having things.
Yep.
Now we get to...
Can't kill the
play
Stonecourt Serpent, unfortunately.
Vraska. No, we can't. And I don't think we actually want to sacrifice a land, so just going to tick this up and decline to sacrifice anything.
Because you want to get to Woestrider at some point.
Yeah, we want to have the option. I think the land is particularly relevant. We might see a questing beast here, put this down to 2. Ooh, that's great.
So Vraska can hit Yorvo?
Yes, Vraska can hit Yorvo. So let's just do that.
Boom. Well, that was a quite spectacular boom animation. Yorvo just went...
Then we get to attack.
Yeah, cool. Doesn't happen all that often.
Now, I think that if they had a questing beast, then they would have played questing beast last turn. If I thought that they might have a questing beast, then maybe I'll leave both of the Mayhem Devils back. I don't know.
The fact that they didn't just snipe our Corvold there was okay. I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to snipe Corvold, but all right. Ooh, this is going to be cool. So
This is going to be very nice.
we get to kill this.
This is lovely. Wow. Okay.
They've had
That
enough.
escalated quickly.
They've had enough.
Up to 26 already.
All right, 26, yeah.
Could be able to get to top 10 here.
I think if we win the next 2 in a row,
Yeah.
then we're good. But if we lose 1,
Okay.
Then
it gets pretty dicey.
then we go
goes-
down to like 120.
Right. All right. Might just I will keep recording into match 2, or should we separate it out? Do you reckon into another video? All right, we'll separate it out.
Yeah, good.
Let's go match 2. All right. Well, thanks for watching match 1. feel free to head along to patreon.com/The Winning Agenda if you want to support us. We've recently entered the 21st century with a webcam, so if you want us to acquire some more hardware and keep it going, head along there. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like if you're watching us on YouTube. And thanks to our stream viewers, who are watching us. We'll be back with another game shortly.